Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about foot drop and foot drop recovery. One of the common questions that I receive is that how long it takes for foot drop to recover and you be able to walk and do your day-to-day living pain-free and comfortable. In this video, I have a special guest, Sareen, who's my online client, who was suffering from foot drop, and she started her rehab plan with me a while ago. And in this video, she shared with you her progress and how she's getting on, because Sareen is back to work and work almost pain-free, and she doesn't have any issues as much as she used to. She was in a severe pain when she started her rehab plan with me. She had complete foot drop and she was technically numb in one side, and she had severe amount of pins and needles in one side. Now in this video, she doesn't only share with you her progress and how she's getting on right now. She shared with you a couple of important tips that helps her in regards to foot drop, and she answered one of the common questions that you always ask me, how long it takes you to get better from foot drop. Make sure to watch the video until the end. I also share with you a couple of simple exercises that Sareen has been doing over the couple of months that she's training with me at the end of this video, that if you're suffering from foot drop can be beneficial for you. If you've never been in this channel, my name is Bob. I'm a physical therapist. I help people globally with simple tips and exercises through a rehab plan and a routine that they can do in their own comfort at home. If you're suffering from foot drop, I would be happy to help you to get back in action. It is not a quick fix, but you can have recovery through a conservative treatment. And if you never try, you never know. Make sure to subscribe my channel for my weekly update, and do not forget to press that like button. Let's get started. Excellent. Okay. I think today I just want to share a couple of things that has happened over the last couple of weeks in your progress, because we start your plan in March, right? And
Yes.
and from March until now, how many months are we training together now? My math is really bad.
It's 8 months now. Like
Eight-
November is 8 months.
Yeah, which means we are on the start of November, and you're technically around 8 months of training after kind of like a severe foot drop that you had. Because a lot of people ask this question, how long it takes for a foot drop to improve, you know what I mean, to get better. And I think you got to the really good level of progress in this stage of your rehab, which can be productive for people who suffer with severe foot drop due to lumbar disc herniation, bulges, etc., to share your own experience. Okay, what really helped you to recover and get to this stage that you are right now? You're back to work, you're training consistently, and I think you're physically and mentally in a very better space from where you was. But briefly saying, how bad was your foot drop initially? Just to share this with people like who maybe didn't see your first
It
video.
was really bad. Yeah, it was really bad. I was on bed rest, and yeah, it was pretty bad. I didn't know how to get better, but somehow I did.
Yeah, but like I suppose like it was very scary for you because you weren't able to walk. You were in kind of like you had a kind of serious symptoms
A
of.
lot of pain, yes. A lot
Yeah,
of pain down my, like, from my back to my leg, and my, like, below my knee. My whole leg was kind of numb. So there is no numbness right now, so, which is like a huge progress from where I
yeah,
started.
yeah. And how would you describe like your progress from where we started? How long it took you to kind of like feel comfortable again with yourself to get back to your daily activities normally, etc.?
I think the first 2-3 months were just like I was getting better very fast, I think.
Got you. Mm-hmm.
After that, it got a little slow and very, like, you know, like stagnant. And I felt like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe I won't get,
Better.
like, better. But then after that, again, because of, like, I feel like consistency was very important.
Mm-hmm.
I was very consistent with my workouts and my routine. So I think that helped a lot. And now I'm much, much better, like almost pain-free. So yeah.
Yeah, when you say almost pain free, maybe describe for people. Okay, like how's your day goes? Like let's say right now, from where you were bed resting until now, you're back to work. You're working full time technically,
Yes.
and
Yes.
like how would you describe your symptoms right now? Because you had numbness, you have You had like tingling sensation and severe pain and severe foot drop in regards to like what you had. But right now, how do you describe your pain that you mentioned that you're almost pain free?
So I don't have any numbness at all. I don't have any sciatica pain. There is no like I had really bad pain from my back to my leg that would go continuously, and I couldn't even sit. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I couldn't do anything.
I got you.
So I have nothing right now. The only pain I feel is when I wake up in the morning, my back is a little stiff.
Got you.
And if I'm sitting for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
like while working, that
Mm-hmm.
is the only time I feel a little slight pain. But
Got you.
this is nothing compared to what I was before. Like I could barely even sit for half an hour. I
Oh,
was
got you.
only lying down. I couldn't even walk. So now it's pretty good.
And that's the physical part of it that you improved a lot. But mentally, I think you're in totally a different state because you back to gym. You start your gym for quite some times right now, right? And I
Yes.
think initially you were struggling with getting consistent session in the gym because your workload increased and you were
Correct.
stressed. Okay, how am I
Yes.
going to balance this? You know, but we managed to. I mean, you managed to do these with a bit of help of management side of my advices and plan. You know, which is
Correct.
how we can fit in your training. Now, tell me about the training like right now you do, because I suppose hopefully I'm going to get some videos of your training and we can share it with the people because it is like I'm very impressed with your progress and I have to share this with people because when you get to that very low part of, I suppose, injury, which is initial state that I don't know how many people told you to do surgery initially.
Yeah, everyone. Nobody, even my physiotherapist said, like, asked me to consider surgery. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
which means mentally you're in a
And I
very
was
low
actually
state.
going to consider surgery until I came across these YouTube videos. And,
Yes,
like, I just
yes.
thought, okay, maybe last try, let's just give this one shot. And then if this doesn't work, then I'll consider surgery.
Which is fair, you know what I mean? Which is kind of like a really fair approach because I think you didn't give up and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to try this and see if that's going to help me. And we can make a decision later. But I think in that state, you were very low physically and mentally. But bring you back to
Yes.
the gym and do some weighted exercises with machines and you doing like cardio-based exercises. Maybe share with people how it feels to be back to the gym and back to work even, you know?
Yeah. So I've never been a very fit person in general.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the strongest I've ever been in my entire life. Like I've never lifted weights. I've never worked out. Like
amazing.
the maximum workout that I could have done is like walk. That's it. I don't,
Yes,
and I barely even used to walk before. Like if I'm working, then yes, but like I wouldn't even think that I would ever go to the gym or work out. But
that's
I've
it.
been so consistent now,
Very
and this
good.
is something like which become a part of my routine.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm. Yes.
yeah,
And
and I think it's been very gradual, but like we've kept increasing, we've kept like increasing the intensity of my exercises, and it's helped a lot.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how's walking right now, Sareen? Because you had a kind of like a severe limp, you know, on your leg. You weren't able to
Yes.
walk comfortable. You were falling, you know, initially. How's it right now?
Yes. I think it's okay. It's not perfect, I would
Yes.
say. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I walk, it doesn't look very odd. It doesn't look like I'm limping. I
Yes.
am a little, like
Yes.
I feel it, but I don't think someone who's like walking with me would realize that. It's
Got you.
very slight. It's not that significant like it was before. And I
Mm-hmm.
think my foot drop is not really a foot drop anymore. Like I can lift my leg a little. I can't lift it entirely,
Got you.
but I can lift.
Of course, yeah, which means you have much more control on it, and without any kind of like I suppose assistance, you're walking, you don't have crutches or anything as such. And we got to the point that initially you weren't able to walk much. Like I mean, 1,000 steps was a lot, and I think
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago you got to 7,000 steps, which was
Yes. And I
which
was on medications and I was walking 1000 steps. Like I was on actual like nerve medication to like not make me feel any pain.
I
Now
got
I'm
you.
not even on any kind of medication. So that's a huge improvement.
Amazing, amazing. Same. If you were going to give people a couple of tips that okay helped you hugely in your recovery, what are those tips can be? I mean, you mentioned about consistency, which is a huge factor, I believe. What else would you share with people who watching this video? Because this is all purpose for people who are suffering from foot drop due to lumbar disc bulges or herniation, because your disc herniation was pretty scary for you initially. And
Yes.
what would you suggest people who are watching this video with those conditions?
So first of all, like me as a person, I'm a very like I overthink everything and I research the hell out of things. So
Yeah,
which is a good thing, but it's also like
a
bad
negative.
at times. So when I first met you, you told me like from here on, don't watch videos, don't research anything.
Yes,
Whatever questions you have asked me, and that is it. And you also told me not to talk about this with everybody. Like you said, like this shouldn't be the only thing you talk about to people. And I took that I took that seriously. Like
very good.
I wouldn't go out of my way to talk only about my because I realize this is chronic pain. I can't, this is going to be there, so I need to learn how to manage it, and this can't be the only conversation I have, which
Yes,
is why I made it a point not to talk about it a lot. Like even
very
if
good.
it was on my mind, sometimes I would, but like consciously I would decide not to just speak about this. And I think having a routine was very important when I was not working. Like for the past, I think 6 months, I didn't work as much.
Yes,
I
yes,
was at home. The only thing that kept me going was having a routine. So I had everything set. This is what I do, how I do it. Like that helped me a lot,
amazing.
because lying down all day would have like destroyed me mentally, I feel. The
100%,
only way
100%.
I was sane was because I had a routine of how I need to get things done.
Amazing. Very good. Those are very crucial. I believe them. And I believe like, part of that whole routine and having consistency is hugely help you to not feel isolated, which means one of
Yes.
the issue with chronic pain is that people like yourself, make a comparison from where they used to be and where they are right now, in a I suppose socio financial position as well, because you lost your job initially and you
Yes.
were under a lot of stress at the same times, which is can cause a vicious cycle in regards to your pain and your injury, which means getting out of that loop of, I suppose, stress and comparison with your past is a huge factor for your recovery. And you're spot on, having a routine that gets you gradually to do small steps, you know what I mean, which means you didn't start working like the intensity that you're doing right now. You had a chance to start with
Correct.
less like hours and gradually pushing it forward. And I think that's the very important factors that I suggest to my patient who's off work because of their back pain, is to find something that they can do in regards to their job. And if they can do a remote job, that would be perfect. But even a couple of hours a day, that would be hugely helpful for you to manage to start doing and keep your mind busy and not having too much time through the day resting and thinking about negative stuff. And beside
Right.
that, then you had a chance to kind of like gradually build up your routine and go to the gym now. You don't feel isolated from people who train in the gym. You know what I mean? You're not only training in the house, you go out, you see your friends, you socialize with them, you walk with them, you do things beside your injury. You know what I mean? Which means your injury is
Correct.
not all
Yes.
about the topics that you 24/7 think and talk. And I think that hugely, Sareen, help your mental state to build that trust and confidence again, to get back to your life. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And but you're spot on. I'm delighted to see your progress, Terry. And I suppose I do have some of your workout videos. I suppose if you send me more, I can share more people that to see how far you
I'll
can
do
actually
that.
progress. Yeah, because it's a huge, for me, it's a huge deal to see you in this stage. And you should be proud of yourself, because a lot of people, would be just thinking of, okay, there's a quick way of recovery, just jump into surgery. And I'm not against surgery at all, because some cases they need surgery, especially if it's Cordoquena syndrome, and that like you had some of those symptoms, but they told you that this
Yeah.
is your decision, you got to do it or not. And I suppose you took in charge and you decided to do a conservative treatment,
So,
which I believe you've done a great job so far. Saying, is there anything else that you like to share with people? Anything else?
no, nothing else. I just feel like be consistent. That's it.
That's it, absolutely, and I think that hugely helped you mentally to get back to
Yes, it
so much, I suppose, more than what you used to do. Thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier, the signs and symptoms of foot drop can be limited to a couple of things that patients come and present. Now, the main thing that foot drop that get really affected by is literally the muscle group that we have in front of our shin, which we call them tibialis anterior and peroneal nerve, and basically supply these muscles. Tibial anterior basically dorsiflect the toes, which means bring the toes up to this direction. Now, if you're suffering from foot drop due to spinal, basically L4, L5 disc bulges, typically it can actually affect the nerve root and cause a bit of dysfunction of peroneal nerve. And in this routine, I'm going to share with you series of exercises that you can challenge basically this muscle and gradually build up movement there. Now, you have to understand the foot drop is not a very quick fix. You need to understand that you have to assess with your practitioner or I suppose orthopedic or neurosurgeon that whether you're not under any other type of, I suppose, urgency cases that we call cardiac, which can come with foot drop as well. This is a thing that you have to get clear before you're following this routine. Make sure to assess with your physician that there's no other signs and symptoms alongside with foot drop that you may have that you may need kind of like more invasive options of treatment. Now, in this routine, I'm going to share with you what are the options that you can try and follow. Now, some of these exercises doesn't need that much equipment, but in my clinic, I use particular stimulus that help to activate the tibialis anterior muscle. I'm going to share with you at the end of this video and you can give it a try. In some cases, you may need that device to progress to get the full function of tibialis anterior. Let's get started. The first exercise that I'm going to share with you guys in this routine is basically passive activation of the tibialis anterior muscle, which is like literally I'm going to show you how to do this movement. In this movement, you're trying to use a kind of like assistance of basically like a resistance band or a belt if you have. And what you're trying to do is that you can't technically do this movement and you want to try to practice this passively, which means you're trying to bring this up, and by bringing it up, you're basically getting to dorsiflexion. And in dorsiflexion, you're trying to let your body hold in that position passively, which means you're trying to hold it for 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and relax. And then you're gonna practice the same move one more time. You bring it up with a bit of assistance and let it go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let it go down. You practice these exercises daily, once or twice for optimum results for maybe 3 sets of, I suppose, 8 to 10 repetitions. Let's go one more round. You're gonna go all the way up, hold it there, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Now, this exercise is passive isometric hold. You practice this daily, and the more you do this exercise, this nerve root become more awakened, and you can basically get more control of activating the tibialis anterior. The following move that I'm going to share with you guys is going to be nerve glide in a seated and prone position. I'm going to share with you both of these. This exercise helps you to activate basically your sciatica nerve and is a flossing basically technique that helps to awaken that nerve again. To apply this movement, you need a bit of assistance of the resistance band. Why? Because the normal movement that you do for a nerve glide is basically a dorsiflexion and neck extension, and you do this at the same time. Now, because you can't really bring the foot up to the dorsiflexion, you can use assistance, and literally with the help of resistance band, you can try this movement and try to basically get a bit of assistance how apply this move. Yep. You're going to try this exercise for 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetition. As you can see, this movement should be within a comfortable range, which means you don't want to bring it too high. As you can see, I'm trying to relax and move my neck and my foot at the same time. The same movement can be done on prone position, which means you're gonna lie on your back, okay? I'll show you on this leg because it's easier. Let's presume that your left leg is the one that is affected. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring my foot and I'm holding that tension there to keep that going. All the way up, slow control down. Control up. Slow control down. As you can see, my knee is stable and I'm trying to get that nerve flossing movement in and out. Now, you can practice this exercise either way or both of them daily for 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetition. Make sure that to go within the comfortable range of movements that you do have. All right, guys, the following move that I'm going to share with you guys is progression of the first 2 exercises that we did. We presume that the right leg is the one that you're suffering from foot drop. In this movement, you trying to basically get more range down to the leg, which means you're trying to bring the basically foot to plantar flexion, which is full range down, and from plantar flexion, bring the foot to the point that you feel good, which means within the range that feels comfortable, and you can hold it there for 3 to 5 seconds. Hold it there, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Then you want to go slow down, full range down from there, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Slow down, all the way up. Hold it there, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Slow down and go back one more round. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now, make sure that you're spending a good amount of time on doing the first 2 exercises while you're progressing to this. And if you still need a bit of assistance, you can still use that basically the band until you get the full range of movements. Try this exercise daily 2 to 3 times for 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetition. The following move that we're going to do, guys, is going to be calf raises. If you're suffering from foot drop due to lumbar disc bulges, calf raises can be very weak, and in this routine it is essential for you to train the calf muscle. Do not forget, guys, that when you're suffering from foot drop, we are going to work around a lot of different movements that you will be doing in a day-to-day living, which means functional movement like squatting, for example, or bending or twisting, and you need to build up those basically pattern of movement in your body again and neutralize that. And there is no one movement that's going to fix your basically foot drop. You're going to gradually challenge your body in different activity, and is not only focusing on your tibialis anterior muscle to basically challenge that muscle. You're going to work around your whole body, which means your hip muscle has to be getting strengthened, your calf muscle has to get strengthened, and that neural pathway will develop much more stronger if you challenge your body in that way. I'm going to show you how to do the calf raises. You need a basically step or stairs, and you're going to basically try this movement in 3 different directions. We're going to start with the straight, and as you can see, we're going to go full range down and back up. We're going to try this exercise for 3 sets of 12 repetitions. The second set, your toe is going to be out, all the way up, slow down, back up, and down. Now, toes in, slow control, back up, full range up, and back down. These are the 3 basically angles that you're going to do the calf raises. Now, while you're doing this exercise, if you find some of the exercises are easy, I'm going to share with you at the end of this video how to progress them and gradually get more range and movement in them. The following move that I'm going to share with you guys is going to be isometric hold with resistance band. This is more advanced movement that you need either a loop of resistance band or just tie up a normal resistance band and create a loop. What you're going to do in this exercise is that you want to challenge that dorsiflexion movement in isometric hold, which means you're going to wrap this around 2 legs. And we presume this is a leg that is challenged and has a foot drop, and you're trying to get to that range of basically movement of like dorsiflexion and try to basically flex your hip and hold it in that position for 5 to 8 seconds. 4, 5, 6, 7, and relax. Drop it down. You're gonna go one more round. Toes up. Flex it up. Hold it there. 5, 4, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and relax. The goal of this exercise is, guys, to be able to hold your foot in dorsiflexion and don't let it drop, and maintain that tension with the resistant band. You're gonna try this exercise for 3 sets of, I suppose, 5 repetition. Hold it between 5 to 8 seconds and try to gradually challenge yourself. Give it a try and let me know if you have any questions. All right, guys, as I discussed initially, what you probably need to do in some stage of your rehab, if you find the home exercise routine does not giving you much of, I suppose, progress, you definitely need some sort of assistance to get from basically this Compx basically stimulator, or in your physio clinic or hospital, they might have different devices that basically can stimulate muscle contraction. It is not a tense machine. It basically helps you to engage that muscle fiber and tense them. Now, this is a portable device that I have in my clinic, which is, I use it for my patient with foot drop, and literally you can simply adjust it here. And as soon as I adjust this, basically I can feel the tension that machine gave me on this basically tibialis anterior, and it kind of like get the tense all the way to my foot. It is pretty strong sensation. While you're using this machine, you basically have adjustment of the tension and pressure, how much you can actually engage it. And as soon as you basically engage the machine, it senses the intensity, how much you want to give it, and you can carry on the similar exercises while you have this on basically your basically shin bone. Yeah. Now I'm going to share with you what I do roughly, and you can practice the similar exercise that I shared with you earlier while you basically having this. As you can see, when you connecting this machine, you can see the pulses. I'll give you a closer view. It's straight away, you can increase the tension. And while you have these pulses, you're trying to basically try initially with that dorsiflexion while you have this movement, and go back to some sort of normality, which means initially you want to practice just the basic dorsiflexion. Then you want to do the same thing in a standing or kneeling position. Toes up, and then the patient slowly, gradually start to walk with this device, which means you're trying to get the full gait practice. Gait practice can be challenging. Why? Because it takes time to get the full range, but you're trying to practice that full range of dorsiflexion, toes up, and get through the cycle. Now, I share with you series of exercises initially that you can start, but I might say that as you can see, this is pulsing very strong. My foot is moving right away, which is, that's why it can be very beneficial for you if you're suffering from foot drop. But I share with you the exercises that I mentioned initially. You need to understand this exercise, the initial phase of your rehab. You can do them at home. The later stage of your rehab has to be supervised with your physio. Make sure if you have any question, leave me comments. I will be happy to help, but you need to understand that every single person has an individual customized plan that has to follow from a supervision. It is not very simple to get back to activity without getting help and clarity and pure information. Give it a try and let me know if you have any question. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find this video helpful. And if you're suffering from lumbar disc bulges, disc herniation, and if you specifically suffering from foot drop, you always have a chance to recover. But having said that, there are some people who need surgery, and I'm not against of that at all. If you suffering from lumbar disc herniation and disc bulges that you've been suggested to do surgery, you got to look at there are always 1% of patients that they do need surgery, and it's your choice to go for it or not. But in reality, I would suggest them to try the surgery if they need that. But having said that, majority of cases with back pain, they can recover through conservative treatment And as you can see, Sareen is an example that she decided to don't do the surgery and follow a conservative treatment, and she recovered. Today, she's back to work, almost pain-free. She's very functional. She's training in the gym. And I suppose you can get an idea that you can have a chance to recover. But having said that, we discuss all of these in the initial consultation, and we go through a lot of questions before we get you started on your plan. If you're suffering from any type of chronic lower back pain that is stopping you from getting back to your life, you can always contact me through the link below, and we can go through a customized rehab plan for you and get you back in life. Make sure to subscribe my channel for my weekly update, and don't forget to press that like button. Until next week, all the best.